skip the intro. We're going straight to this. Why? Because this loss sucks. And I got two folks on with me right now. Herm will join us in a little bit. We got AG. What's going on, AG?
What's going on, fellas? Y'all all right?
Nope. And we got Mark Orm from Orm's Forum. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? How's everybody feel right now?
Angry. Very angry. This was a loss that ripped my heart out and stomped it because it shouldn't have been a loss. This should be a victory. The Detroit Lions should have won this game, hands down. Mark, initial thoughts of this game?
Yeah, man, this is a game that they should have won. I think they were the better team today. Dan Campbell. This is going to be on him. A lot of it. It's going to be on a lot of his decision making that went on in this game, late in that game, especially like not whether to go for it, punt. Like you don't believe in your defense. You have a kicker that should not be kicking 54-yard field goals. And giving Kirk Cousins the ball with like under 2 minutes to go or under a minute to go at midfield. It's an awful game. This is an SOL loss. Like if anybody wants to know what SOL means, rewatch this damn game because this was an SOL loss. That's how you lose football games, man. Bad decision makings, not pulling players when they should be playing. Why Amon-Ra was out there as long as he was. I don't care how bad Will Harris is. Amon-Ra should have been benched a long time ago because he was very, very bad, man. And it wasn't just one or two things that lost this game, man. They just imploded in the fourth quarter. Like it's just SOL, man. It's a bad loss. And this is
I rip on Will Harris a ton.
Yeah.
Will Harris would have played better than Amani. He needed to be pulled. Amon-Ra was awful. 5 freaking flags. He was getting torched the whole time. He's been awful this whole season. Let's be 100% about it. Let's keep it straight. Yeah. He's been awful. He wants to get that new contract. He ain't getting it right now. AG, thoughts of the game? Yeah. Go ahead.
They dominated in every aspect, and they can't win the game. That's crazy. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. I felt like I wasn't Spirit of Detroit. I felt like I was just a spirit. I was dead. Because they dominated in the yards per play. Even Jared Goff had a decent game. He had a decent game. So you weren't gonna lose you weren't gonna win in spite of Goff today. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking to myself at 24 to 10, 24 to 17, that we could pull this out. I can make how do I make a video to describe what's going on here? As a good team, like let's calm our brakes. Let's get ready for the Seahawks one game at a time. I'm thinking to myself creatively. And then they start losing. They just start going imploding. Coaches' decisions start imploding. We calling timeouts for Kirk Cousins. I don't know. I don't know what's going on mentally when it's like it's a 6-minute drill. It's a 6 minutes left on the clock. It's a 4-minute drill. We passing on 3rd and 5. I don't know what's going on mentally. I don't know what's going on. All you got to do is run the ball. You don't have to be cute. You don't have to be Mike Martz. You don't have to be a genius. All you got to do is run the ball. And then the irony is, at the end of the day, end of the game, a person from Detroit puts you away in the game. Osborne was from Detroit, and he put you away. Now, it's so many things was wrong today. You can't boil it down to the kicker, the not going for it on fourth down. It was just like I don't know. It was a weird fourth quarter. Like it was like you entered the Twilight Zone, and you was in one of the movies like Jordan Peele. You was in one of them Jordan Peele movies.
Jordan Peele movies.
And you just wanted to get out.
Yeah, we couldn't get out. We're falling into unconsciousness in a body of somebody else. And what really frustrates me is there was some really good play in this game. Jeffrey Okudah shut down Justin Jefferson. Absolutely shut him down. Yeah. He played outstanding. Jared Goff, like you said, AG, had a pretty good game. The offensive line did a really good job. Dan Campbell's in the fourth quarter of this game, he blew it. I'm putting this loss on Dan Campbell. This was absolutely terrible. And Ben Johnson, by the way, 3rd and 1. Why aren't you running the football when you're gashing them for 4 to 5 yards a carry? I don't understand it. Why do we continue to do that? Mark, what the hell is going on with this?
I don't understand it either, Mike. It's like, like you said, they're running the ball. Like Swift was running at a good clip, even though he was limited. Jamal Williams had 4 yards of carry. They were running the ball well, and 3rd and 1, you're up with late in the fourth quarter, and you're basically giving the ball back to the Vikings, and you're taking time off. Like, you're not taking time off the clock. You're stopping the clock. It doesn't make any sense. It's like high school football. It's football 101. I don't understand it. It almost seems like it's a setup. Like, you played pretty good football for 3.5 quarters. You do pretty much, Dan Campbell was being very aggressive. He was going for it. He was like 4 out of 5 on 4th downs. All of a sudden, he just he just imploded. It just seemed like Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson seemed to have a huge brain fart at the same time, and they just didn't know what they were doing. They just forgot how to coach. And this has been kind of, I really like Dan Campbell, man. I like the way he coaches normally. I like that he's a leader of men. But this is on him.
Yeah, it's on him.
These decisions were terrible. And Ben Johnson, run the ball on 3rd and 1. Why are you throwing 15, 20 yards down the field to Josh Reynolds when there's a guy literally on his back? And you're throwing 3rd down and 1. You're throwing a 20-yard fly. That doesn't even make any sense to me. Run the ball. Like, that just, I don't know. Strange.
AG, talk about Ben Johnson. What was he on? Is he on some drugs or something? I don't get it. And this is the craziest thing, is this been happening to the Lions team forever. It never changes. You're just saying it's a 3rd and 1. Run the football. Like, why are we thinking so out of this? Why are we overthinking it, AG?
Right. Well, I just want to know how you got so much faith in this big play to Reynolds, and it's Reynolds, who couldn't even start on the Rams. How you got so much faith in Jared Goff, who got traded here? Like, one game he could throw 1 touchdown, one game he could throw 4, one game he could throw none. Like, you got so much faith in the passer game when the proof is in the running game. The proof is in your 4th down conversions. It's not even analytics. It's just happening. It's just happening. I feel like, you ever feel giddy? Like you was like it's Christmas time. It's Christmas, but I'm broke. I ain't getting no presents today. I ain't getting nothing out of this. We had everything leading up. The paycheck was on time. Everything, the bills was paid, and somehow you did not enjoy Christmas. Somehow Christmas, it just became 23rd, 26th. I don't know how. Somehow you missed a whole 3 days. I don't know what's going on with Ben. I don't know. I'm just a YouTuber, man. I just work here, man. I don't know.
And this idea, well, they fought hard. It came close. Shout out to moral victory wins. Not this one. No. We were defeating them on all fronts through 3.5 quarters. We literally threw the game away. Like, everything that possibly you could do wrong, you did. Literally, the referees gave us a 1st down with a flag.
The refs was on your side the whole game.
Unless you're Amani.
It was wow.
Unless you're Amani Warrior. Yeah.
Amani Warrior should have been benched. Whoever, Aaron Glenn, what are you doing, man? Amani Warrior has been playing bad since preseason, since training camp, preseason, and he helped lose this game. I'm tired of it. I want to see Chase Lucas in there. I'm done with the Amani experiment. I don't know what's going on with them, but I'm done with it, man. I've had enough of this. He's playing worse than Will Harris, Mark. What is going on with Amani?
I don't know what's going on with Amani, man, but I think some of it is, and it's just me guessing. You know, I think he's got money on his mind, man. He's got that mucho dinero, man. Thinking, man, he's like, I don't want to mess up here. I need to get that bag, man. I'm about to get paid. I had a good year last year. You know, I had 6 picks. I think that's what he's thinking, and he's in his head because he was awful. Like I don't care if he's your number 2. I don't care how bad Will Harris is supposed to be, or if you want to throw in Chase Lucas in there, or if you want to kick out Mike Hughes, whatever you want to do there, it should have been done. He can't. He had 6 penalties. 1 was declined. So after about 3 or 4, he should have been benched. I don't think he let Adam Thielen, who is a good wide receiver. Don't get me wrong, but he is an old man in football standards, and he dismantled Amon-Ra. He made him look like a rookie. Like, that was bad. That was an all-around bad game, and I'm sorry, but they should have went to Will Harris or somebody else, man, during that, man, because you can't have 5, 6, 7 penalties like that, and they were all bad penalties too. They were very, very bad. So something needs to be done there. I'm not saying bench him for the next game, but my goodness, something needs to be done there.
I've had enough of this, man. Like, I would rather have somebody out there like a Chase Lucas, who he's going to make mistakes, but like Amani's been sucking since training camp. It has been a trend. It's not just a one game. This is like him falling off a cliff. You know, he is, I don't know what is going, this is crazy because he plays so good in his career in Detroit, but he's been so awful this year. And it's just, I've never seen such a play fall off of a player. Like, his play has literally fallen off a cliff. It is insane. Insane. AG, are you still there? I can't tell. Looks like he got kicked off. Yeah, for sure. He probably got kicked off here. Okay, let's talk about that 4th down. Okay, and 4. We went for it on every other 4th down, it felt like. I'm saying just run the football, because even if you don't make it, if you miss that field goal, it gives the Vikings great field position. So I'm like, you know what? Just go ahead, run the football. The odds are you probably make it anyways. And they don't. They kick the bad field goal. We all knew it. I don't know about you. I was like, he's going to miss this. He's already missed one, and it was the same distance. Awful kick.
Yeah.
Go, Mark, just talk about it, because it's hard for me to. I'm so angry, bro, and I'm gonna send a link out to Ron.
No, I understand. Yeah, man, because he missed one earlier in the game at 48, 49 yards, shanked it completely. He had no business trying to kick a 54-yard field goal, I don't think. I thought they either should have went for it or punted. At least, if you go for it, at least you're trying to get that, a couple yards, get that first down. Or punt. Punt the ball, man. Pin him. You know what I mean? Like, instead you give the ball right up there, right in the midfield, and you just knew. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming when they missed the field goal. I didn't think he was going to hit the field goal anyways. And I was like, this is game. I turned to my wife, man, and I was like, game over, eh?
Yep.
She's like, no way. There's no way they're going to lose this game. I'm like, oh, they're going to. Watch. 45 seconds ago, boom, Osborne deep, touchdown. This was an SOL loss, man, and I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of the SOL, and I'm sick of the moral victories. Oh, we played tough. I don't care about playing tough anymore. I'm done with that scenario, man. Win these games. These are the type of games you got to win. If you want to change the culture, you want things to change around, you want people to believe, and I know everybody does believe in Dan Campbell. I do, but you have to win these type of football games, man. You have to. But they dropped the ball again, man. So, on to Seattle.
Rumble, man, are you having some issues?
Rumble.
Yeah, he may be having some issues, so we'll just let him deal with his issues over there. Hey, Rumble, it's okay, man. If you can't get in, don't worry about it if you're outside. I don't want this thing to be going back and backing out. Why not punt? No faith. Yeah, and what is the idea of we never punt the football anymore? Like, it's everything is a 4th down. I don't know. Look, I liked there's aggressiveness, but we're starting to get a little bit too aggressive, if you ask me. It's gonna bite you, man, and it bit you in this game, AG. Talk about that. I can't hear you, AG. AG.
I don't
Mark,
think he can hear you.
aggressive. What the hell is going on? We're going for it on every fourth down, and the one time we don't.
Well, like
Yeah,
the going for it was okay, man. They were
my biggest thing with
successful.
the whole like the fourth down stuff, yeah, it good.
I'm having AG.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go. AG, go. He's having technical
AG.
issues too. Everybody's having technical issues. Mark Ora, man, we're just gonna
Yes.
go ahead, bro. Talk about this one. I'm gonna just throw you on here.
Well, like I'm okay with the aggressiveness. We were successful. We had a high percentage, but sometimes when you go for it, like, just why didn't they run the ball there though? Like I know it's easy to say like, oh, they made a mistake here, they made a mistake there, but if you're gashing a defense for 4 or 5 yards a clip, and then you're trying to throw a 15-yard pass to to Josh Reynolds on fourth down, it don't make no sense. And then you give Kirk Cousins the ball at midfield at home in Minnesota. Like it's bad play calling. Like if it's at home, okay, maybe, because then you got the defense. You got the home field. You got everybody yelling. It was quiet as a mouse in Minnesota for Kirk Cousins to work his magic. And he did what he did, and he did what he was supposed to do at the end of that game. Man, he didn't have a great game whatsoever, Kirk Cousins. So it's just that, but he did what he was supposed to do at the end. They completely forgot to cover KJ Osborne, which I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen because they were just locking down Jefferson, and it felt like somebody was going to get that touchdown that didn't really have a day, and it was Osborne. But it's just, man, coaching decision. It comes down to coaching decisions, man. They shouldn't have tried to kick the field goal. They should have either tried to go for it with the run on that fourth down or punt it. Let your defense win you the football game. They had no timeouts. You could pin them, but it's just a bad SOL loss, man. This is an SOL loss. This is the exact meaning of SOL right here. And
we had a lot of injuries in this game too. So Tracy Walker out. That sucked right in the beginning of the game. Amon-Ra St. Brown nicked up. DeAndre Swift. Let's talk about Swift here.
Yeah.
What's going we can't. He's having a great season, but at the end of the day, he's not healthy. What can we do should we shut him down for a little bit? Do you think for just a couple games? What do you think we should do with DeAndre Swift?
Well, it's just like, AG was saying earlier before off camera, he was saying that without DeAndre Swift in there, this is a totally different offense. Jamal Williams is not dynamic. He's not electric. When you have DeAndre Swift in there, defense is key on him. And the problem has been health. It's been health since he's been a rookie. And I personally don't think the Lions can keep doing this. They can't keep having a guy like DeAndre Swift on the sidelines on a pitch count and then for them to be successful. They're not going to be successful with Jamal Williams, who I love, but he's a ground and pound guy. He doesn't scare nobody, though. A guy like DeAndre Swift does. So are you asking, should he be shut down for a game or two?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe shut down, but I just don't know how the offense is going to go. I think the offense will be okay, but it's not going to be dynamic at all. I think they should start playing Justin Jackson.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're waiting for on him. Play him. He's more dynamic than Jamal Williams. I don't know what it is with him that they're not playing. I get that Jamal Williams won the job. He's the number 2. I get it. But Justin Jackson, I think, is a bit more dynamic with the football in his hands. Try him out. Let's see what happens.
Let's get Justin Jackson some playing time. He is fast. He does have that big getaway speed. That would be my guy for Swift because he is the fast one. He is the one that does that. And, Jamal Williams is not the fast guy. Craig Reynolds is the all-around back. So I think we should probably shut him down for a couple games. I think he needs to rest. If he keeps going and he keeps nicking himself up, it's just going to linger throughout the whole season. That's the last thing we need. It is the last thing we need. We need to have reliability throughout the whole season. And right now, with him having some issues, it's not happening. What do you guys think? Should they shut him down? Y for yes, N for no, just for a couple games or a game. Let this guy heal fully. Let's not screw around with him. Swift, again, is our big part of our team. It was so obvious that the Lions were going to run. But the problem is, yes, it was obvious we should have ran. But guess what? We were dominating in the run game. Yeah. They couldn't do anything. It was 4 or 5 yards every single time, even with Williams in there. So run the football. If it's 3rd and 1, run the football. Like, you got these big guys with the offensive line. We got Frank Ragnow in there. Even, Skip's doing good job. The whole offensive line's doing good. Go in there and just run it. You put it on their backs and run them. Run them, Mark.
Yeah, you gotta, I understand, you have to mix it up. You got to mix it up with the run and the pass. But when you're running the football as well as the Detroit Lions have, and this is not just a one-game thing. This is the past 2 games. This is 3 games now. We've run the football good. So it's not like we're a team that sometimes runs well. We have a great O-line. We have maulers on the O-line that want to run the ball. I don't understand why they're trying to get cute. Getting cute, it doesn't win you football games. It's not the Mike Martz offense. This is not the greatest show on turf like everybody thinks it is. Like everybody's like, oh man, we're gonna destroy teams. No, this is a running football team. Whether everybody wants to believe it or not, we're having success. Goff, and this is not a Goff bash, so I don't want people coming at me because I'm not coming at Goff, but Goff is having a very successful year this year because we have a great running attack. It's that simple. So use your bread and butter, man. Use Craig Reynolds up the middle. Use Jamal Williams, Swift when you can. But the Swift thing, man, it's very frustrating. It's just the kid's never healthy, and it's so annoying. It's just so annoying because he's so good when he's out there. But I don't know, man. They got some thinking to do with him. I don't think they're going to shut him down. I really don't think they will. I think it's going to be a pitch count all year, and I just don't think it's going to be a way. I don't like the way they're going to do it because they're probably not going to win a lot of football games by putting that kid on a pitch count. But that's really only thing they can do.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. And we got Ant-Man in here. What's going on, Ant-Man?
Yeah, all right, Mike. How you doing?
Tell me initial thoughts of the game.
I'm angry. I'm very, very, very angry after this one. Just, this was a divisional road game. We fought so hard. We played so well to start with. And then that entire 4th quarter, we just contrived to throw it away with bad call after bad call, bad play after bad play. And, to end it the way it ended was just, I'm very angry because we should have won this game. And all we've done is reinforce that we're still the same old team that we were before at this moment in time. We're the ones who are here lamenting a loss. Where did it go wrong? The Vikings are celebrating a win. The Bears are celebrating a win. Everyone else is celebrating. And what are we doing? Oh, we played well. Things went wrong. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of being this team that is always the one who doesn't get it done. And I'm mad with coaching today. I'm very rarely mad with coaching here. I love the aggressive style they play with, and for the most part of this, I agree with it. But there were some decisions at the end that were verging on egregious, and I'm sick and tired of it.
Talk about the play calling that really angered you.
I mean, the decision to put the game, in the hands of a kicker who can't hit a barn door, going for his longest ever record of a field goal when he'd already shown he couldn't hit it from there, and taking the game out of the foot of your elite special teams player. You've got a punter who could have put them right back. 70 seconds to go, right in their own 10, got them hemmed back. You can send all the pressure in the world you want on Kirk Cousins to go and force him to make a mistake, for them to have to try and run the ball upfield quickly. But no, we elect to risk it all, give it them near their own 40 with a kicker who can't hit a barn door, and, and we reaped what we sowed from that. I think the play calling was bad, when we got the strip sack off of Dalvin Cook. 3 pass plays in a row after that, 3 and out in like 10 seconds. Run the damn ball and get rid of some clock. Do something different. It's predictable. You throw it first time, you're obviously going to do it again and again, and they know it's coming, and we're just out. They just keep giving us opportunities. We got the turnover on downs right at the end of the game, and we still can't close it out because we just can't sustain a damn drive. Let's just run it and try and, we didn't even make an effort to run the ball on those last few ones. We just kept getting stuffed behind the line for 2 or 3 yards. There was no effort. There was no ingenuity. There was no nothing, which was crazy because at the start of this game, this offense looked amazing. The play calls. Minnesota were chasing shadows at the start of this game. Where the hell was that when it mattered? And the worst part is just people coming out, it's year 2 of the rebuild, you shouldn't have any expectations and stuff like that. It's like, no, screw that. We lost this game today. We could have won this game today, and that's what annoys me, is that this was a chance for us to make a statement in this division. Road win really puts us in a good position here, and now what? We've got another ton of injuries. I can see it now. We're going to fight valiantly. We're going to lose a lot of games because the injuries are holding us back. That's all I see right now is just, Geno Smith's going to come next week. He's going to wreck us. We're going to get more excuses, and it's going to be back to the same old stuff again. And all because we threw this one away. We had so many chances in the fourth, so many. How can you not convert one? It just really, really, really irks me.
So I see this. Giovanni brings up Shark. What is this? Is Shark? Is this a failed free agent signing? Because Mark, he hasn't been doing anything. I don't know what is going on with Shark, but he has done absolutely nothing here so far.
Well, I don't think he's failed so far, man. We are in week 3. They got him into the game early, and then all of a sudden it seemed like they kind of stopped throwing to him. I only saw them throw the ball to him maybe a few more times. After that, man, he was getting some looks, and he made a couple nice catches earlier in the game. Like, he had that first game, which, he had that late touchdown. Then the week 2, he laid the goose egg, got a couple targets though, but should have had a touchdown catch in the end zone week 2 too as well. But I don't know, man. They got to find a way to somehow get him involved. Like, I don't want to call him a failure, but it comes down to familiarity as well. So, Josh Reynolds, man, he had a very nice game. He almost had 100 yards. Him and Goff got something going there. They just got to figure out how to get Shark involved. And it seemed like when Amon-Ra St. Brown got gimped up a little bit there, it seemed like the offense kind of was stuck.
Yep,
they didn't really know what to do there because he was running on one leg, it seemed like, and they didn't really know what to do. So, but they got to get guys involved more, man. And Ben Johnson knows that, like, man, when it's coming down to the wire here, and this is on Campbell as well too, the coaching decisions, it just comes down to calling the right play. You don't try to be cute. I don't know what you're trying to do. This isn't Kurt Warner and Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt out there. Just don't be cute. Don't try to, get the first down. You gave us so many chances, like Anthony said, and then they blew it. So they need to be smarter. They need to be smarter on offense with the play calling.
Play calling, the fourth quarter it was devastating because so many times the reason why I think a lot of Lions fans are mad, at least I am, is I felt like we should have easily won this game. Like, we dominated, I felt like, throughout the whole thing. And it's just like we had opportunity, and you just kept giving it away every single time. I've never seen anything like this. How is a team possibly consistently giving it away on a regular basis? Like, Talk about Amani-Warrior, Anthony, because I don't know what's going on with this guy, but I'm done with it.
I hope him and Cyber are walking back to Detroit, quite frankly. The pair of them were useless. But, I mean, you talk about the play calling here. You know, this is another drive in the final 2 minutes that we can't defend. This time last year, we were doing it against the Ravens. These 2-minute drills, we can't seem to defend them for our lives. And then KJ Osborne has the freedom of Minnesota to go and walk in a touchdown. It's like, in 1 year, you are telling me that nothing has changed when it's come to the 2-minute drill on there. Amani just keeps giving away penalties, and I'm done with him. I don't want to pay him any amount of money to stay here, quite frankly. I would have happily kept him as a cornerback too here, but you know what? No, I'm done. He's the experienced guy in that room. He should know better. He should play better. Akuda did his job perfectly well today. He's letting the team down. Put Chase Lucas in. I don't care at this point. Put Chase Lucas in. Give the rookie reps. Let him get in there and do it, because he'll do a damn sight better. For our veteran in there who's meant to be the good guy on this team, we lost so much because of him today, and it's tiring. I don't get how he can commit so many penalties in one. And it didn't help because the refs were being flag happy. The refs were atrocious as well today. They were honestly one of the worst reffing performances I've ever seen against us, and that takes some beating. But all these things together, it just doesn't add well, and these are stupid mistakes, and we're just talking about them again. It's like we're always talking about the mistakes, and we're never talking about making leaps forward. Year 2 is about showing you can do better than in year 1, that you can win more, that you can, make improvements, and we're not. We're talking about the same problems. Penalties, can't defend in the 2-minute drill right at the end of a game. I mean, they still have to. All they needed was a field goal. All you have to do is keep your men in front of you. It's not hard, even just to tie it to get to overtime. Just keep them in front of you. Very, very, very simple. And we're just told, oh, it's communication issues. Oh, well, communication issues just cost us a win on the road. It can't just keep happening. What are these coaches doing to make it better? They're not. And it's just, I don't know. I'm just annoyed. I think I might calm down after a bit.
I'm with you, dude.
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys. I know you're like, stop crying, stop whining. It is difficult after a game like this, because you don't have time to cool off, and you're really angry because it felt like we've won this game. Mike Hughes is horrible. He should be cut. Lions fan 1 Paulie. I didn't think he played as bad as Monty. Thank you for the $1.99 super. Herman Moore will be on a little bit. Lion fan 1 Paulie, remind me, and I'll have you, if you want to ask him a question, you can. I totally get it. People are like, stop whining, whatever, but this is right after a game. And I got to say, it was a gut. This will go down as one of the worst losses I've had, because we should have won this game. Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, stop whining about what though? Like the Lions had this game. This is a game they should have won.
Yeah.
This was an SOL loss. We have every right to whine and complain about this loss. This is a bad way to lose a football game. Like Anthony said, we're on the road in a division game. It's a game we should have won. Not going to stop whining. We're not going to stop complaining about it, because it's the same thing every year. It doesn't stop. We're still talking about the same things. It doesn't stop, man. So why should we stop?
But Mark,
it's an evil merry-go-round. It's an evil merry-go-round. It keeps going around and around and around. It starts speeding up, and then you get thrown off the thing, and you don't know where you're going to land.
That's funny, man.
Oh, it's only week 3. It's only week 3. You guys are nothing but crybabies. No, man. That's not it at all.
That's right.
You gotta win. You gotta show progress, man. There's no progress here. This isn't progress. This is regression. This is what this is. They need to buckle down, man. They need to buckle down, and they just, man, it's a frustrating loss. If you want rainbows and unicorns and lollipops, go somewhere else, man. Because they deserve to get bashed for this loss. They deserve everything.
But we're meant to be grateful for this, Mark. We're meant to be grateful for this, Mark. You know, we fought hard. We only lost by a couple of points. You know, us Lions should expect and deserve no better. That's what you're saying. If you're telling us to stop crying, you are telling us to accept this as the standard. And I don't want this as the standard for my team. The Vikings were atrocious today and were there to be had, and we let it slip. We got turnovers on defense. You know, we stalled drives. We put ourselves in every opportunity to win this game, and we contrived to lose it. Every week it seems like we're talking about we found a new way to lose a game from a winning position. And, you know, are we meant to be happy about it? Are we meant to be grateful about that? Hell no. I'm not going to be grateful about this.
And
you know, we've
NFC
got a
North
stack of injuries.
We're 1 and 2. We're in last place again.
The Bears.
2-1.
Bears.
Yeah, the Bears are above us. No offensive line, no receivers. They've traded away half that defense that made them good. They can still win games. Are we not meant to aspire to that, to be like them? To, you know, we should just aspire to be. Let's just aspire to be bottom of the division all the time. There, we're not allowed anything. That's what they're saying.
No, bro, this
is year two. Yeah. No, this is year 2 of a rebuild, and we shouldn't expect anything.
This fan base loves moral victories. That's what they love, man. They love moral victories. Oh, we fought hard. Well, go pick up your participation trophy tomorrow then, bro, because there's a few of them out there. So go get them. They're coming in hot.
I got a question, though, for the both of you. You know, what type of, like, there's losses that really sting, and then there's losses that they're lost. We're all used to the type of losses. What would you have preferred? The way we lost today in a close one, or getting blown out like a 44-6 like last year in the Philadelphia Eagles? I'm not going to lie, I'm going to tell you right now, I'd rather get blown out than this type of loss. Because I was invested all the way to the end. At least when you get blown out, it's like, oh well. That's a kills, man.
I would rather get foot stomped than lose a game like that, for sure, 100%. I'd rather get killed 44-6 than lose a game the way we should, dominating on all fronts, every which way we could be dominating, and then lose the game in the way we did with 45 seconds to go. No, man. I'll take the whooping over that.
Super chat by Lions fan 1 Paulie says, I'm going to the next Lions game against Minnesota, $1.99. Shout out to you. And just like in Lions-Vikings form, this always happens against this team. It's last-second wins and losses. God. Go ahead, Anthony.
It's vengeance for last year, isn't it? You know, this is probably how they felt after we screwed them over on the last play last year. But, yeah, I'd rather have been blown out because I can see it now. We've got the Seahawks coming to Ford Field next week, and we're going to play well, but the injuries have piled up. We're going to lose again. And I'm sick of excuses. I'm so sick of them. I would rather have lost and us just say we're a bad team and we're not doing out this year. But we can see that it is a good team that is capable of winning games. Yet we're sat here talking about how we've thrown away a loss again. And I can just see it coming now. You know, all our major playmakers are getting injured. Swift, I'm losing patience with. And
Herm will be on. We're going to talk to him about that, Anthony. Because this is what we were all concerned about. He loves Swift.
Yeah.
But he's injured.
How can you be on a pitch count from week 1? Really, you're injured week 1, and it's just every week. We could have done with him today. You know, we could have done with our number 1 running back to get us that clutch first down to come in. And because he did it last week. He made the magic play last week that got the touchdown, which took us far enough away from the Commanders to win it. That's what your playmakers do. On our running back one sat on the bench because he can't play. We don't have that, and we need that to progress forward.
Shout out to Spirit of Detroit podcast really quick. He's overseas. He had lost connection. He was on here earlier. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He's angry as we are, by the way, and I can't wait to see his post-game rant. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, and it doesn't help, you know, it doesn't help calling timeouts on our side helping out Kirk Cousins either. I don't know what Dan Campbell was thinking doing that either. And then you're trying to run the clock out. But Jared Goff is snapping the ball with 18 seconds left, 18 seconds on the clock. He did it like 3 times. 10 seconds, 13 seconds, 18, 16 seconds. Like, run the clock out. Like, I just don't understand, man. That's high school football. right there. Like, I coached football. That's the easiest thing in the world, is to run out the clock. Why are you not even attempting to run out the clock? It's just very strange football. They imploded in the fourth quarter. It's like they forgot how to play football. Very odd fourth quarter. Very odd. And I don't know. It's just a bad SOL loss, man.
Now,
Like, I
Dan
usually
Campbell,
don't like to
he
blame coaching,
went and
and I don't
said
like
he
to do all
blames this
that stuff,
loss
but
on
man,
him.
coaching had a big – what's
Dan
that, buddy?
Campbell said he blames this loss on himself. He is the
He
reason
should.
we lost this game. Thought about that,
So-
Mark, and then we'll go to Anthony.
We've heard that story.
So, that only means something if he
Not
beats
good
the Seahawks next week. That only means something if he can win next week and show that this was a blip. Like week 1, there were issues. We said if we can win week 2 at home, after that good performance week 1, it kind of makes up for just losing there. You kind of show you're on the right path. Now you have to bounce back and beat the Seahawks at home and win. Otherwise, these apologies soon become very hollow, because you should not be losing to Geno Smith at home.
Let's get those likes up,
no
folks.
reason.
Let's get to 50 likes. I'm about to drop you some bad news, and it's going to be a gut punch, folks. Injury to Tracy Walker doesn't look good. They're saying Achilles. Could be done.
I knew it. I had a feeling.
Could be done
I
for
had
the
a
year.
feeling it was.
And that's another big contract tied up with an injury now. And if it's anything like Romeo's, we might not have him back for next year. So the cap situation just gets even worse. We've just given him a new deal, like with Romeo, and now we've lost him. We had Romeo for 4 weeks last year. We've only had Tracy for 3 now. So once again, even more of our cap is screwed up in the injured reserve.
It's not guaranteed, but he just said it's not good in Achilles. So it does look like it's going to be out for the year. They'll find out tomorrow. What does that do to the Lions' safety position? This is a killer, because we're already thin at that position. We were thin before even the draft. Now we lose our best player, who was playing pretty good, in Tracy Walker. Talking about Juju Hughes. Talking about Deshaun Elliott and Kirby Joseph. Mark, what do we do here? What do we do, man?
You just said it, Mike. We just lost probably our best safety, and now our second best safety, Deshaun Elliott, who I think is a pretty good safety. He's a Band-Aid himself, but he's managed to stay healthy, which is good. He's going to need to step up and be that leader now in that secondary. Juju Hughes, maybe they make a waiver wire addition here. Maybe they move back Melifonwu back to safety. That could happen, because he hasn't really. I think he was a healthy scratch today, because he did practice for 2 days, full practice. I know he's been hurt, but I think he was a healthy scratch. He'll be dressed next week of 100%. So they got some options, man. They don't have very good options, but they have some. They might have to be scouring the waiver wire, see what happens, because I got a feeling they're going to be putting Walker on IR, and that leaves a spot open. So go get somebody.
I mean, the injury bug just continues to riddle the Lions. It's never
unreal.
seen. It's been like this for years. It's terrible, Anthony. And this is no fault of anybody. This is just bad luck here.
No.
But if Futu Melifonwu's got to step up, he's my guy. He's got to come in and be that enforcer, Anthony. What do we do if Walker is done for the year?
You know what? This might be an unpopular opinion, but I would go to the trade market, and I would actively go out there and try and find someone, because this is a huge problem for this team. The secondary is a big problem. He is our leader back there, and now he's gone. We can't rely on Amani to do the job back there at the minute. So you go out there, you find a guy. There is always value to be had around here. You saw Anthony Harris recently release. You're able to get these guys for some decent value. Go and get yourself a safety who is worthy of starting on this team. And people will say, well, if you're a losing team, don't go into the trade market. We cannot afford another 3-4 win season here. I am not about that. This team needs to win games this year. I am not going to sit and say, look, I'll wait till the next draft to solve it. I will go out and solve it now, so we can try and win games this season. I am not going to get run. I do not want us to get run on with defeats for the rest of this year. And, that takes a big, that's a big percentage point up if you just take Trace's injury and you don't do anything about it. Kirby ain't ready. That's why he ain't playing.
Yeah.
Ifeatu is a corner, and I maintain he is a corner, and I will play him as a corner.
I agree,
You have to go out and be proactive. Go and get a safety from the trade market. Find good value and fix this team. Period.
I love what Charles said there. Make him a cornerback, Futu Melifonwu, because right now, Amani's not doing it. Amani, I've lost all faith in him. You know, I was high on him. I lost all faith. I have no faith. I'd rather have Will Harris. I know this is going to sound bad, folks, but I'd rather have Will Harris out there, and that's bad. But I want. We got secondary problems. We got secondary problems right now. But there's one player in the secondary who is not a problem. He's absolute stud. That's Jeffrey Okudah. Shut down Justin Jefferson. He's been shut down the whole season. You know, we've been a lot of negative, but we got to talk about Okudah. He deserves a ton of credit, an absolute ton of credit. Okudah looks like one of the best corners in all NFL right now. He's been shut down. What is he doing that has changed his career? Yeah, he's going to get extended at some point. If he keeps this up all season, you got to. He's shut down.
Well, he's acting like the 3rd overall pick. That's what he's doing. He's healthy. He's playing like we really hoped that he would play, and it's amazing. I'm telling you, I am shocked on how good he's playing. Like I always knew he was a good player at Ohio State. You know, that was always a great defense, though. They had Chase Young. They had animals over there on that defense. But he was a lockdown corner. You know, drafted 3rd overall, drafted hurt here, thrown in the fire too fast, couldn't stay healthy for 2 years. I didn't think he was going to be this locked down. He just locked down probably, I think, a top 3 wide receiver in Justin Jefferson. He was frustrating him all game. You could see it on Jefferson's face when they panned to him on the sideline. He locked him down. He played a phenomenal game on him, and he did what he was supposed to do. It's amazing how he's turned this around. I'm so happy for Okudah because I was always hoping he would turn out to be this guy, and I'm ecstatic that he's on my team still, and he's playing like this. Now we got to get the kid some help, man. We got to get him some help because all of a sudden, Amon-Ra, he's getting himself a bus ticket out of town real fast, man. The way he's going, and the secondary just took another big hit with Tracy Walker going down. So it's gonna snowball. I feel like it's gonna snowball here, but I really love the way Okudah has been playing. He's playing the way that we thought or what we hoped he would be, and I'm really proud for the kid, man, because he's one of the hardest working kids. He takes, like, if you follow him on Instagram or wherever you got to follow him, he wears his emotions on his sleeve, man. And he took this year very, very serious, saying, I'm gonna stay healthy, and he has been, and he's been great.
Yeah, put ones in the comment section. Rep Okudah right now because he is killing it, and I mean he literally shut down Justin Jefferson. That's amazing. This was huge for his career. I think this was a defining game for him. This is a career-defining game for him to be able to shut him down. And, I mean, again, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. If he can do that to Justin Jefferson on the road, I think he can do it to anybody. And you can see his physical presence, his size, his physicality, his speed, everything. Anthony, talk about Okudah.
I absolutely love what I'm seeing from him. And for me, the big thing I've seen for him that he wasn't doing before, he's a lot more aggressive at the line of scrimmage. He's getting hands on his receivers. He's letting them know that they ain't getting nothing today. You saw early on Jefferson, you know, with him, he put a hit on Jefferson early on, put him on his ass. You know, the Vikings wide receivers were like a bunch of whiny little crybabies today. Every time there was an incomplete pass, you saw them looking at the ref expecting a flag or something because, you know, Okudah, it was been aggressive. But, you know, sorry, this is big man's game. You got to be aggressive sometimes with this, and that's what he was. He let Jefferson know very early that he was not getting the ball today, and he didn't get the ball today. Jefferson got frustrated, and, you know, it was a perfect performance from him. I know they were giving Okudah safety help as well, but at the end of the day, you've still got to keep him quiet, and he did that. And like I say, I just love the physicality of it. He's getting up closer to the line of scrimmage. He's putting hands on. He's been aggressive, not letting them run the routes. I think for me, that's been the biggest thing that I've seen from him, which has changed since he come back, which I think has helped because he sat in soft coverage a lot of the time before, gave up a lot of easy receptions, missed some of the tackles afterwards, and that's kind of what we were all getting frustrated about, letting his man get behind him. Well, if you've got him in front of you, you're laying hands on him and, letting him know you're there. He can't get in behind you. So, yeah, I'm really, really happy for him. He's doing well, and we're going to need it because it looks like we're going to have to raid the cornerback market in the off-season again, try and find some new guys in there. So we really need this progression from him. But I've no worries now. He's played through cramps. He seemed to play the full game today. No cramps, no nothing. That match fitness seems to have come back to him. So, yeah, I for now, any concerns I have about him are gone. And let's hope this continues.
Herm will be on in a couple of minutes, and he's going to give his takes on it. But right now, I'd like to have 50 likes before he gets on. Right now, we need 16 to do that. We're at 34. Smash that like button. Let's get to 50 likes. We got 135 in the building. Also, another winner on my list I have is the offensive line. Dan Skipper comes in there. This offensive line is legit. Frank Haley, the GOAT. Mark, this offensive line has just continued to be absolutely dominant. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just they're giving Jared Goff all the time in the world. They're opening up holes. Talk about this O-line.
Yeah, Hank Fraley, man, you got to give it. You got to give your props to Hank Fraley. He's getting the big fellas primed up for game time, and it doesn't matter who goes in there. They're doing their job. Is it perfect? Of course not. It's not perfect, but they're playing like a top O-line. They gave Goff lots of time today. There was times where Goff was just literally sitting in a pocket all day. A couple pressures on him, but that's going to happen during the game. They got two really good bookends over there. So, you can't give enough props to Hank Fraley and guys like Dan Skipper and Logan Stenberg, like jumping in there. It still frightens me to death watching Logan Stenberg pass protect, though, because he's very bad at it. But all in all, man, this O-line's doing their job. They're opening up holes in the ground game, and they're giving Goff time. You can't ask for anything better. Now it just all comes down to coaching decisions, I think, man. And we got to clean some stuff up, man. But Hank Fraley, A+ for me.
100%. 100%. I'm just trying to get something really quick. So, yeah, what do you think about the job of the offensive line, Anthony?
I think they did well overall. I think that, Jared Goff had a good day, made a lot of the throws he needed to. Again, there are a few questionable ones, but I think that's part and parcel with him at this point. But the pass protection was a hell of a lot better, and it allowed Jared Goff to throw the ball around the pitch a lot more. Obviously, the run blocking did not look as good. I know we ran the ball a bit, but for me, it looked a lot more clunky. There were a lot more runs stopped at the line of scrimmage. It was not as smooth as it was before, and that's the problem of sacrificing Logan Stenberg for Evan Brown. I don't agree with that decision. I think it was the wrong decision, and you saw it in the run game. But we kept Goff healthy, we kept Goff on his feet. So overall, I can't be too critical of them, but I think they were too quick to pull Stenberg. I think that run game is the bread and butter that had been dominating teams these last few weeks, and we could not win today because our run game tailed off. We got nothing going with it. The blocks weren't there. The smoothness of, it was not there. And, it's because we've got a guy who's known for his pass protection in there, not his run blocking. You had a scheme that worked with players that worked, and you tinkered with it, and that's a problem. I mean, I get why they did it, but I just would not have done it yet myself. I would have kept it the way it was because you've got to play to your strengths. They were trying to fix what they saw as a weakness, but by doing that, you're taking your strength away, and we suffered for it.
Did you guys see that play where Goff threw it to Reynolds, and Reynolds was wide open, but he stopped running the route? You guys remember that play? What in the frick happened there, Mark?
It looked like to me, it looked like Reynolds either didn't know the ball was coming or he lost it in the sun. Because that was. He had it. All he had to do was cut inside. He had it. He broke free. He got some separation. It was weird because you could see Jamison. Did you see Jamison Williams on the sideline on that play? He was like this. Jamison Williams was like, "Oh my God!" Like he knew. Jamison was there, right? That ball's a touchdown, probably. Man, he runs underneath it. But I don't know. It looked like he didn't know it was coming. It was that or the sun. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was just like, what the? Why did he just stop
Strange.
running the route? Just completely just stopped. Now, Herm's going to get on any minute here. When he does, I can't wait to hear his take. But I got a quick question. Is Sunday now a must-win game? Seattle Seahawks at Detroit. The Lions lose this game. That would be devastating. Do you think it's a must-win game, Anthony?
I 100% think it is a must-win game. Like I say, this season is about showing you're moving to the next level as a team. And, if we come out and beat the Seahawks next week, we show that we've learned from our mistakes this week. I could forgive this week. If it was simply a case of we had a bad quarter call in some plays, it was bad. We made some errors, but we learned from it next week against the team really that we should have a good chance of beating at home. I can accept that. If you go and lose to Geno Smith at home next week, that's 2 of your 3 home games you've lost. You've thrown one away on the road. You are not showing me that you have got better as a team. And that is what this season is about. And, I just completely and utterly disagree with anyone who says that we shouldn't have expectations or we shouldn't make demands this year, because you should. We're 3 field goals away from 6 wins last year with that roster. This is a better roster. The coaches are bedded in. You can see how good this offense is. You can see just what this team is capable of. And if you can't get wins out of that, then sorry, you are not showing me that you're going forward as a team. So it 100% is a must win to show that this was just a fluke with mistakes that we've learned from.
Let me know in the comment section why for yes and for no. Is this a must-win game? Let me know in the comment section. I'm going to put my answer in here. And it is, to me. It's a must-win game. You go 1-3, Seattle, because then you got to face the Dallas Cowboys, Patriots, upcoming games. Mark, is this a must-win game on Sunday now?
100% yes, this is a must-win game. This is a game, man. Going into this game, we're 1-2 now. We should not be that. And only 17 weeks, man. There's only 17 weeks in football. I think every game's kind of must-win, but this is a big one, especially from a team. Don't really know too much about Seattle. They look good the one week. The next week, we're not too sure. Kind of an up and down. Geno Smith, you should be able to get to him. They got some weapons over there, though, but this is at home. I believe we're at home. And this is a must-win game, man. You can't afford to lose to Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. He does that, people are going to, I think it'll be too early of a call, but people will start calling for Dan Campbell's head if we lose it against Seattle at home. They will. People will start doing it. It might be a little bit premature, but I could see people doing it. The seat might get a little bit warm, even though he's going nowhere. I don't think he's going nowhere, but he'll be criticized. They have to come home, especially losing a game that they had in their grasp. They had the game against Minnesota on the road. They should come home. They should be mad at themselves, fired up, and beat the heck out of the Seattle Seahawks.
I got to see Luke G's reaction to this game. He just jumped in the chat. I don't know if he's going to go live, but I cannot wait to see the reaction from him on this game here, because if it's anything like anybody else and he's tenfold the normal person, it's going to be insane. So I don't know if he's eventually going to go live or what, but I cannot wait to see the reaction to this guy. That you got to win at this point. You have to win this game. This is Geno Smith at home. You cannot start 1-3 in the first 4 games. You can't do it, because then we're talking the draft again at this point. Literally, we're talking about the NFL draft. If you could, because the schedule, to me, Seattle is a team that should be a top 5 draft pick. It should absolutely be a top 5 draft pick. So if you lose at home against a Seattle team, we're in a world of hurt, man. Oh, yeah, Adam Baydoun is going to be hilarious tomorrow. I cannot wait to see. And we got Herm in the building. Herman Moore, what's going on, sir?
Hey, what's good?
I cannot. Initial reaction to this game. I cannot wait to hear this.
My initial reaction?
Yes.
It was tough because I felt that the Lions were going on the road. I mentioned this earlier in some of my commentary, and it was a great opportunity for a team that hadn't had a road win in quite some time. And I feel this offense turned the corner the previous week. I mean, even the points you look at, putting up 24 points today, still shows that this is an offense that's capable of putting points on the board. The big and growing concern becomes the defense. And I wouldn't have thought that they would be giving up this many points and they would sit so far back where they are now, and that we would be relying on the offense really to kind of keep this team afloat right now. So there's some concerns there, and then it doesn't help when Walker goes out. But it was a big opportunity that got away. If you look at where the Lions would have stood having won this game, I mean, you're sitting atop of the NFC North. That is a huge confidence booster for this young team, for this young head coach and his staff. I think it gives them something that they can put a stake in the ground to start really building the confidence and the culture of expectation if they were to come away victorious. And unfortunately, there's a whole lot of things that were lost today other than just a ball game.
What do you think about the coaching decision in the fourth quarter? I thought there was some questionable decisions, not running the football, 3rd and 1. Even going for the field goal, I said don't do it because they already Siebert missed earlier. Thoughts of how the fourth quarter went?
The fourth could be managed a lot better. I think Coach Campbell and his staff's going to go back and look at really strategically, how did they manage the fourth quarter? How did they break that down in terms of when you're playing on the road and you have a team down, how do you let them back in? It's important to keep the momentum, but sometimes you got to play it. I won't call it conservative or safe. But you can't be in play calling purgatory. You have to either stay aggressive or you have to be able to manage the lead to where you understand that you're working against the clock. You're working to take opportunities away from the opponent and give them less chances of coming back. And you start to feel that kind of unwind. When this team is in an attacking mode, I really feel that's when they are at their best because everything is irrelevant. So I look at that. Would I go for the field goal? No. Looking at the struggle from the field goal side, there's just not a lot of confidence there in the long term, the longer kicks that we've seen them have consistency with certain kickers in the past. That doesn't exist right now. This is a team with the Lions that has to, like I said, I don't hate you for going for it on 4th down in that scenario, but kicking a field goal. If you miss, like you said, it's just you're setting the opponent up with tremendous field position to be able to come back and at very least tie the football game with 1 or 2 decent plays.
Mark, you got something to ask?
Yeah, Herman, what do you think you would have done? What do you think you would have done with an Amon-Ra? Probably. Do you think he should have been benched? I don't know about benched the whole game, but do you think he should have sat quite a bit after, I don't know, that 3rd pass interference? He was very bad today. He just looked rough. I know it's tough to do to a kid like that, but what do you think?
You have to send a message. It's no different than if offensive lineman. If a quarterback throws 6 picks or 4 picks, you're going to pull a player. The guy drops a lot of passes. All of a sudden, you get one of your key players, and he's dropping a lot of passes. You're gonna at least pull him out. You're gonna let him kind of gather himself, but leaving him out there, you start to really question yourself, and they're kind of on an island. And it is too critical of a time in the ball game. I also thought that perhaps getting out of the man situation would also be a factor. But what does that do to their pass rush? I don't think it would have affected them that much as the penalties did. So that was a little surprising that there wasn't any adjustments made, whether it's in personnel or in scheme at that point, because he did become a liability. You never want to see that in a player, so I wouldn't throw him under the bus. But 6 penalties is unacceptable. That there's no way you leave that type of player who's struggling at that level, at that critical part of a game, in the game. So there's a reason why they did that. What is that? I don't know. I'm not a coach, but definitely I agree with a change happening at that point.
We got a super chat from Asylum247, so I'm going to throw this kind of to a question to you, because if you guys got questions for Herm, you can super chat him. It says, no reason that kickers should be on this team. Career high at 56. If he can't put it up points, he had to go. What do you think about changing kicker here? 2 misses today.
I think they're going to be looking at that position. Will they make a change? I don't know. Is that why the Lions choose to go for these fourth downs when they go across the 50-yard line? It looks like there's no hesitation to me. So I see a lack of confidence. That's just my opinion and observation. When you look away from just really what's happening in live action, when they're being this aggressive on fourth down, especially it looks like there's no hesitation when they cross the 50-yard line or they're somewhere in a short down and distance. That play's already dialed up. You look at the offensive coordinator, you already see that coordinator Ben Johnson. He's already, they're conversating. They already have that game plan. That's going to be a critical piece for the line. I mean, look at the scores through the NFL. Okay, this is an opportunity year for the Lions, and they're going to need it from all areas: offense, defense. They got to get more takeaways on defense, but the special teams is going to be critical for this team, and it's going to cost them games this year. Is either going to win or lose them. I would say at least 3 or 4 games, based on just the closeness of the games. Players have jumped from team to team, so you don't really see blowouts. You may see a one here or there, but it's coming down to these extra points and field goals.
Can Jason Hanson come back?
I always think Jason can kick till he could be like the Brady of kicking. I know he played 20 years or whatever it was, but Jason, 50 yards even now, I think Jason is still good. Would he come back? No. The Lions wouldn't bring him back. We saw Eddie Murray when Dallas brought him back. He's already pretty much was retired, and he ended up going on winning the Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys and actually saving their season. So I never put it past them going and find a veteran kicker or finding someone that gives them a little bit more confidence than what they have right now.
Ant-Man, you got a question?
Yeah, I have. You mentioned that we should be a little bit concerned by the defense at the minute. I mean, 12 months ago, we saw, against Baltimore, against Minnesota, they could not defend a 2-minute drive. They allowed teams to move on the field very quickly. They didn't really seem to have a clue what they were doing in regards to it. And then today, they've got the exact same problem. They were defending a pitch, all they had to do, you can give up just a field goal and you can at least go to overtime. And they blew it again. That's a full 12 months that has gone by, and there seems to be no improvement there whatsoever. Should we be worried by this, that they still seem to have the same problems all this time later, or can it be put down to injuries and lack of form and whatnot? Because it seems like it's a problem that has just not got better at all.
Some will point to the injury of Walker. They'll point to the fact that you have Hughes who's in, and then there just seems to not be cohesiveness in the secondary. I've been very surprised at the play of Jeff Okudah, who he's been playing fairly solid for the most part. That what I can see, given the vantage points that we have, and then the linebackers seem to be covering better. They give up a few plays here or there. Most secondary units do. But I just feel a difference for some reason in this defense. I feel that there's a lack of confidence. I don't know if a lot was placed on the fact that this pass rush that they were going to have was going to be the be-all, end-all and create so many problems that, really isn't there. You get one sack, and that's pretty much it. This is a team that, with the Lions, that they have to figure out a way to be able to be aggressive, to not see liability, and definitely not lapses in coverage. And we've seen when they come out of halftime, I won't say that there's adjustments, but they're playing the exact same team they played in the first half, and how they can dominate so much in one half of football and then give it all back in the third quarter, and then you're fighting in the fourth is becoming really habit. And if I'm concerned, I'm looking at that trend more so than anything right now. What is it that we're doing at halftime that is causing us to all of a sudden go to sleep offensively and defensively, allow teams to get back, and then click, all of a sudden something turns on because you're doing something to hit a reset button to then all of a sudden put you back in a commander seat, but then you're again falling back into something. So there's some things I think they're going to have to look at both on the coaching side and personnel side, but also, how do they really manage this team and get over some of these humps that shouldn't be costing them games like today.
Is this a must-win game Sunday versus Seattle Seahawks? If the Lions lose, they're 1-3. If they win, they're 2-2. What do you think about the Sunday's game, Herm?
I don't think this is a must win as much as they have to continue. They got to get better on defense, and they got to keep the momentum offensively. If they do those things, and why I don't get into the must wins and what may happen, if they do those things, this team will win football games they're supposed to win, and they won't lose the ones that they shouldn't lose. And then along the way, an opponent plays bad, you win those games because of your consistency. I don't know if they really believe in that other than when they're playing aggressive. It seems like everything goes out of the window. They're not thinking as much as it looks like they're thinking when all of a sudden it's something changes. And so Seattle becomes a critical game, but I don't think it becomes the be-all, end-all for their season. But it will do a lot to determine really what needs to happen before they play another game and go into the break.
Mark, question?
Yeah. Yeah, what's your take on DJ Chark? I know DJ Chark's getting a lot of criticism lately. I think a little bit of it is unjust. They were going to him early. I seemed like he got a couple nice plays, a couple nice first downs. He was in the game. And it seemed like they kind of got away from him. I know defense maybe schemed to him a little bit more. But what's your take on him? Do you think there's a little bit of urgency with him right now?
There's urgency definitely in him. I can see it even in his route running. I could see it in just his posture. And again, it takes as a player. If I look at totally different things, and I always tell people when I'm watching the games, I know they're looking at the excitement, they're looking at some of the stuff that's happening. So I'll give you my real quick take on him. I see him on the outside looking in. I don't see him feeling as if he's a part of the unit. He's part of the progression. He looks at himself as a clear out. There is some doubt that's cast whether or not he is that guy. I know you look at Cleve Raymond and them starting to possibly look at mixing him back into the passing attack because they're just not getting any return with DJ Chark. And it's not all him as much as how do you build around him? How do you get him involved with the plays? Leaving him out as a single receiver, and often when he's in the bunch or he's in a double set, he's typically the clear out or he's somewhere. He's not the primary target. And not that he has to be, but you have to give him purpose to be out there, and then also a reason for the defense to have to respect him. And right now his confidence is diminishing, in my opinion, after each game and after each lack of opportunities. They're not there. To me, it doesn't seem like there's anything being done to build him up as much as just kind of ride him out until they figure out what to do with him or whether there's a change that they're going to make. And it's unfortunate because if they could get him to play up to what his potential could be, given his size, I think it opens them up to a different type of team in short down and distance. And I also think it opens them up to a different type of team in the red zone in terms of options.
Man.
Yeah, I feel because of this touchdown today, we've kind of forgotten that there were good areas in this game as well. I think we're all very frustrated with what on. But I mean, what you saw from this team today, and was there anything that you saw that was really positive that that we should take going forward? Because obviously, there's something you can take from every game that's a positive, adapt it moving forward. Is there anything you specifically saw for them today that was really good?
Yeah, not to be one of those persons, but I see that this team can play really good football in the first and second quarter, and that they're ultra competitive. They're very focused. I see that there is a developing piece that happens on the third quarter, but this team knows how to fight back. I see that they accept challenges when they're challenged, and when they are in a position where they have to actually react or give up, they react, they respond, they go after it, they don't run away. That's a positive. The concerns I have are defensively. When a team is as poor as the Minnesota Vikings were on third down, but your offense struggles too, there's a problem that's happening in there because the penalties are keeping them on the field. It's not the conversion. The team isn't doing it. So you look at the penalties kept them in drive. It gave them 60-plus plays. It wasn't because they earned it, because they didn't. The stats show that. Offensively with the Lions, it's how do they get better on third? You can't be better on fourth than you are on third down. I mean, that shouldn't happen. And you should be put in a position like that to where you have to constantly leverage your fourth downs to keep drives moving, because you're going to face teams that aren't going to give you those opportunities. So I did see that this team still knows how to score. I think the offense is real. I think the running game definitely is real. Jamal Williams, kudos to him in terms of his contribution. DeAndre Swift still hobbled a little bit with his injury, but came in, made a few bursts here and there in some plays. But it's still, I felt their running game was strong. And I think they can ride that for a while, and they can also be dominant with the pass, especially in the control style. I just don't see a big play type offense right now. TJ Hawkinson, I know we're talking about the positives, but that's still a little bit of a concern. I just don't see the dominance. I don't see the vigor. I just don't see the fire that we need from him. He scores a touchdown, but I mean, other than that, that's about it. But he's going to be vital to that third down piece for this team.
Yeah. Do you think, Herman, like about TJ Hawkinson, do you think they've completely, like, they're starting to phase him out of this offense? Doesn't it feel like that? A little bit.
I think they're yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, like, I know it's early and stuff like that, but I just feel like he's getting phased out a little bit.
I think they are phasing him out, not intentionally, but it's happening. They need to pay attention to that. I think offensive coordinator Ben Johnson has to figure out a way to keep him involved. And like I said, even if you target, TJ Hawkinson should be targeted 8 times a game. Even if you go 2 times a quarter. I mean, that's not, if you think about what he means to this team, that's not asking a lot. If you can target your wide receivers 10, 15, 20 times in the first quarter, and then definitely getting those type of touches in the first half, he's got to be a part of that conversation. And right now, I think that's a missing link. I think that's a missing area of opportunity now for a second straight week, maybe even 3 weeks. TJ's got to do himself some favors too. He's going to have to make tough catches. He's going to have to create distance between his defender, even if it's not there. That's where the confidence in the coach and definitely the confidence of Jared Goff's going to come in and throwing to covered wide receivers. If we haven't seen them win a lot of contested plays, we see them running open. What happens if you can't get open and you got to have guys come up and make plays? So there are some concerns that I have, but ultimately with TJ Hawkinson, phasing him out is not the way to go. You've got to figure out a way to get him in.
Yeah. Good old Ghost of Judah Tribe came in with this $2 super chat, destroying us, mocking us because he's a Chicago Bears fan, so we have been mocked. I just want to throw that. Yeah. Oh, man, we did it to ourselves in this one, though. Did it to ourselves. Now, Dan Campbell, Herm, said that this loss is on him. He lost the game due to that field goal. Do you agree that this kind of loss falls on him here? That was the wrong play to go.
And never make it about one play, one instant, one moment in time in a game. When this is a moment that a coach has to make a decision, you have to take accountability for the decision that you make. That's the position that he's in as a coach. Taking responsibility for it is fine. But being up by 10, being up by 14, and having to come back, I think there's going to be more than just your head coach that has to take responsibility for that. While he may pass some of the responsibility to his assistants, and then the assistants are putting it on the players because they're on the field, then it means that there's some responsibility that the team itself has to shoulder as well. Would I have made a different call than Coach Campbell at the end? Absolutely. I don't want to ever play that guy to second guess. I second guess on this one based on what my observations were. You got a team that has some injuries. On your offense and defensive side, you really seem to not really have a lot of answers for the Vikings when they get going. So here's a chance for them not to get the ball back. So fourth down, if I'm going to go for it, I'm going for it. The field goal is like number 3 on my list. It's not my top choice, and I think that's what he's kicking himself for, because his gut was telling him either punt and play defense or to go ahead and go for it on fourth down and try and take control of the game. Minnesota's out of timeouts. And that's the decision there that every head coach goes through, and it won't be his last one. That I can assure you.
Mark, Anthony, put up some questions here, and then I'll give some last thoughts to Herm.
We're talking about coaches here. I mean, Dan Campbell, his decisions have been scrutinised in this one, but Aaron Glenn, we hear a lot of great stuff about Aaron Glenn and the defense and everything's going here, but we are giving away 30 points a week nearly, and there seems to be a lot of problems in there. Is it just a bona fide lack of talent, which is a reason for why we're giving up so much, or is there things that he's maybe not doing so well that he himself could improve on? Because we always hear about how great a coach is, and he is, but something just don't feel right with it. Like you say, the lack of progression, the lack of development in some areas, it's just stagnant.
If you go back and you look really at where the way the season has unfolded, and you break this down by quarters and by halves, you can see that he's got to feel frustration somewhere because they play so well. They play in the top 10 in defense in 2.5, maybe 3 quarters, and then there's a half a quarter to a quarter and a half to where the defense completely earns the rankings they have near the back, whether it's self-inflicted, whether it's giving up plays, whether it's making mistakes, and doing what they didn't allow in the beginning, to me means it's correctable. So he's just got to figure out how to turn it around. You can't say we're talented when we're up by 22 points to nothing and 14 to nothing, and then all of a sudden, then you don't have the talent. It doesn't work that way. So right now with Coach Aaron Glenn, he's got to figure out how do they prevent that type of thing from happening. How do they stay out of the situations where they're giving back all of that gain that they've gotten defensively? And then when they have to make adjustments, you don't let a player that's got 6 turnovers continue to stay. I mean, not turnover. I'm sorry, penalties that were critical and drive, continuances for the opponent's offense. You can't just say we're going to roll with it. And so there's a lot of cleanup that's going to happen. I don't think this defense is good as we thought it would be, but I don't think it's definitely as bad as it's showing.
Mark.
Yeah, my question is about Jared Goff. Like I think he's been playing a little bit over his head. He's been playing well though. He's been playing good. I'm a little bit surprised how good he is playing. What's your take on Jared Goff this early in the season, only like week 3?
I like the offense that they put around him. As far as the past selections and the choices he has, he is making the right decisions. I love the fact, if you look at some of those plays, how he's looking off and then he's knowing he's coming back to a certain player and he's expecting that player to be there. We saw that with Reynolds today. I think Jared Goff's in a place of comfort. I think he's in a place of leadership, and that's why he's playing at that level, because he has a grasp of what he's working with, but also how to utilize it. And he's been given the ability to call those plays up, in my opinion, that allows him to pick and choose his spots versus having to force feed players because he just doesn't have enough talent to spread it around. But right now I do see him getting too dialed in a few places to where if you take those away, I don't know if he's going to have other options. And that's the big concerning part with me with Hutchinson, and even looking at getting another receiver involved, because if something happens, Amon-Ra St. Brown goes down, he's hurt, or Reynolds almost gets hurt at the end of the game, I mean, we're back at square one.
So Ghost Jude Tribe says he drops super chat. He says, I just want to tell Herman Moore I enjoy his product. Golden Grooming. Great product. So
that's awesome. Hey, be good, look good, feel good, do good, all that. Yeah, that's my Golden Grooming, man.
All right, man. Before we shut this thing down, what do the Lions need to do this week after a devastating loss?
One, I wouldn't say on this game, coach says, hey, put it all behind you, get ready for the next. No, you need to go back and look at this one. This was opportunity lost. You want it to hurt. You want to feel where you let it slip. So you don't want to let that happen again. This was a game that was winnable. It was a game the Lions should have won. I didn't pick them to win. This one I thought it would be close as it was, but ultimately they had the opportunity. That's what coach needs to do, and then they move on. You got to correct these mistakes. You don't leave it in the past. You got to bring this one forward a little bit and make some changes, and then make some personnel changes if need be, or have some contingency plans if players are struggling coming into the next game against Seattle.
All right, folks, that wraps up for this post-game show. Herman Moore killed it again today, and the Detroit Lions killed it in the wrong way. With that said, we're going to leave you with the greatest words ever spoken. Hit that like button and adios.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't